thoughts on the game, and then we'll open up for questions.
Well, I was obviously very pleased with the outcome. I thought we got off to an interesting start, but I felt pretty good. Great effort by Mitch on the glass and Jeff especially. We didn't finish any of them, but there were layups, and we missed 2 or 3 layups, and you always feel good about that. So offensively, I didn't feel like we were stressed early, so I was okay. I was upset at the fact that we spent so much time talking about their transition. Shaka's teams do an unbelievable job of getting the ball out of the net and getting it up the floor. This team's great, and Jared Allen is one of the elite runners in the country, and they hurt us, and especially when I went to our bench. But I felt very good, very comfortable with the fact that we got going in transition ourselves. That was one of the things that we wanted to do was really get out and push tempo. Jeff had a tough shooting night for him, but Phil really got going. We ran 2 or 3 sets to Phil, and he knocked him down. But Devon Dillard, kudos to him for his great game. I think career highs in points and rebounds, and they're the #1 defensive rebounding team in our conference. Devon impacted that with his offensive rebounds. Mitch did yeoman's work on the offensive glass as well. And when you make threes and you get offensive rebounds, and I think we had a stretch there in the second half where that's really about all we were getting was threes and offensive putbacks. I like that. I'm a big fan of that, and that's something we can continue to build on. But most important thing today was it's a win in February. Tremendous energy, tremendous emotion, which I didn't feel like we had against Baylor. And we have to understand the importance of every game this time of year because we are playing for a lot.
Questions?
Well, I do want to mention one other thing, what's on the top of my head. Tavares Shine, going to have season-ending back surgery on Tuesday. The young man has really fought extremely hard to try to come back and play this season, and we got to get him healthy, and so he'll be sidelined by that.
I asked both the players that came in, Devon and Leighton, about seeing Jeffrey hit that shot at the end of the half. I don't know whether it keyed the run to start the second half. They both thought it gave them a lot of confidence. But it's just one of those shots that you rush up, you got no option. You just throw it up. They thought it was going to be air balls, and then it calls through on a 3.
I don't think any shot Jeff shoots is going to be an air ball, but I don't know. I thought we talked about the first 4 minutes of the second half at halftime, and I'm a big momentum guy. We made a bad play right before the half, and just on an effort play by Jared Allen, ran the floor. And, so that I felt could have stymied it. But we talk about the last 4 minutes a lot and the first 4 minutes of the second half. And, we got off to a great run. Leighton was really active in that. And we brought both bigs up the floor a little bit, ball screened, and they got either confused or left Leighton wide open. And Leighton was tremendous today. And it was no coincidence that he had 2 great days of practice.
Shaka talked about the difference that Devon's making for you guys. Obviously, he's a guy that jumps out to him, and he jumps out of the gym today on that dunk. Gave you guys a lift. Even though you're up at that point, it just seemed like re-energized everybody.
If I can get that Devon every day, he does make a difference, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I think that's we've gotten Devon to a point where he's doing those things, and when Devon simplifies the game in his mind, and when he plays it that way, those are the things he's capable of. And there's not many players in America that athletically can go do the things he's capable of doing. And I had an assistant coach ask me today, do we want to let Devon shoot those corner threes against transition? Absolutely, because I think he's a really good shooter. And, he jumped up and made a 3 as well. So I'm believing in Devon more and more. He's becoming more consistent, and he does impact our team. There's no doubt. And he's a guy, because of his size and strength and athleticism, can play multiple positions.
Aside from the defense, is that, in addition to Devon, the biggest difference now compared to a month ago is you've had Jeffrey and Phil and Devon, but guys like Mitchell and Devon, sort of your role players are becoming a little bit more consistent.
Yeah, I think the one thing that I think we're executing better. I think our numbers in the half court have been really good. So I feel more comfortable about our. Today was a day we ran very, very few sets. We got Phil a couple out of our spread, but I think a combination of familiarity, everybody becoming more in tune with each other, more in tune with me, understanding what our goals and our purpose is. And yeah, Devon is, from a guy who, I don't know if I played him in Maui, to a guy that now's getting 15 and 8 in a Big 12 game and impacting the game. So, I'm sure that's a big part of it, but I think it's everybody, and it's a lot of things. I think we're just starting to become a better basketball team.
Brad?
Just he's got a hot spot in his foot, and when it flares up, I didn't practice all week, so we'll see where that goes, and he's it's going to be a pain tolerance thing with him. Thank you. Have a great weekend. I am.
Student athletes, Devon Dillard and Layton Hammis.
Leighton, is that sort of the bounce back you guys were looking for from the other night?
Yeah, we didn't really come out to a hot start that we were trying to, but Coach preaches it. Defense and rebounding wins games, and as you can see, our shots weren't falling in the first couple of minutes. We're missing a lot of easy layups, but once we started playing defense and rebounding and just getting out of transition, the floor opened up for us and baskets started opening up for us.
Those early rebounds get you going too?
Yeah, just getting active, just kind of getting yourself in the game, get you a couple rebounds. Talking out there on the floor, just get you kind of in the game, get you in the zone, and it just helps you stay focused and you get to feel the ball. And so, like I said, just getting active out there really early in the game.
You guys were down 8 late about midway through the first half. Kind of took it over after that. What changed there? What was the difference?
I feel like we played with more intensity. We started outplaying them, and it just changed the whole game. Just dabbing on the floor for loose balls, things like that, rebounding, stopping the bed from scoring. That was some of the things that helped us get a lead, going into the second half.
For both you guys, you ended the half with a flurry, and then you started the second half extremely strong. How much does a shot like the one Jeffrey hit weigh into that, where the shot clock and the game clock for the end of the half is ticking down, and he just threw up a prayer. But what goes through your mind when a shot like that falls?
We're going to win. For sure. That just lets you know right there that this is our game, For me, I thought I was going to airball, so I was actually going to tip it. I'm glad I didn't. Ended up going in, running down the court. I was just like, man, if something like that goes in, you have extreme confidence coming into the second half.
What were you thinking, Layton?
It was just, like he said, I thought it was going to be an air ball. And it also just, and I was like, okay, well, ball's going in for us now. So it's good to see things like that. Because you can't, that's not things you plan for. That's not things you're like, all right, let's hope that we get Jeffrey off balance throwing up a three and it goes in. So it's kind of extra for us. But, I think that kind of was like a spark plug because we came out second half just hot. So, it was a good spark plug for us. But, guys are understanding that defense and rebound is going to win us games, and I feel like we did that.
Devon, we kind of asked you what sort of you think your role can be on this team now after a few games. How sort of comfortable are you now in this role as sort of first guy off the bench?
I feel like I'm starting to solidify my role, you know, on the team coming off the bench, you know, giving us a spark off the bench, coming in, you know, rebounding for one, you know, coming in playing defense at a high level, things like that. I know my scoring, you know, it helps our team, but not as much as my defense will. You know, I'm starting to, you know, learn that more and more each game, you know, and it's starting to help me out on the offensive side as well, you know, things like that. You know, just gaining more and more trust with Coach Underwood each game.
Talk about sparks, Leighton. How about that follow dunk out of nowhere from Beckham?
I mean, if you saw my face when he did it, I had the towel over my mouth because my jaw was dropped for about a good 3 minutes after. So, I mean, this kid's a freak athlete. He's one of the best athletes I've ever seen play the game, and you can guarantee he's going to just get one of those, at least one each game. And it's great to have him on our side because it's just, as you can see, when something like that happens for us, it's like another spark plug. It's the other team's like, oh crap, this dude's jumping out of the gym, putting the ball back in. Like, what are we supposed to do? So, I mean, it's good to have a guy on the team like that who just gives up his body and gives up his life for the game.
You expect to do something like that every game now?
Yeah, that's my mindset coming in. I'm going to make ESPN every night, you know. If I ever see the ball come my way off the rim, I'm going to be the first person to attack it and try to punch it in the rim. That's just my mindset every game.
I think everybody in the gym was sort of aghast when that happened. How did talk about the process of seeing it, timing it, making sure
Actually,
you're
coming
there?
out of the timeout, Coach Henderson was like, man, can you please go tip dunk something for me? You know, and I laughed, you know, and then once I saw the ball just come off, it came straight my way, you know, and I was just the first guy to jump after it, and, you know, it happened so fast, you know, I just like, man, I didn't think it was, you know, that big of a deal, but it definitely got our crowd, you know, crowd into it. Once you get our crowd into it, you know, you're not going to hear anything in the gym.
Students now have a big head of you. Does that kind of mean you've arrived as well?
When I seen that, it just brought so much joy to me, man. I love our fans so much, man. You know, even when I wasn't playing, I was on the bench, and they always, you know, show love to me. And, you know, that's a great thing to see.
We kind of have a history of dunkers. Of course, Kell, Newberry. Where do you think you rank?
Of course, I'm gonna say number one. You know, because but I actually had the chance to play with Newberry, and he was definitely a freak athlete. You know, he was one of the guys, you know, 2-foot bounce. You know, I've never seen nobody like that, especially at size of 6'2". You know, Markel, I've never seen him play, but I watch highlights. You know, coming to the school, I seen his highlights, and you know, he's a great athlete. He's a good friend as well. You know, but of course, I'm gonna rank myself number one. You know.
Thanks, fellas.
Indeed.